Hi again. My name is Rebel and I am the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold for last week, Monday through Thursday, which is March 13th through the 16th. Sales have been good, y'all, especially this past week. Crazy good. But I had several buyers who bought multiple things. I love when that happens. Love that. But yeah, I have been surprised. All right, let's do the elephant in the room. Y'all, we got together with tea and pickers, trading post pickers, and one day with Grinning Grandma and did a yard sale Thursday and Friday. Now today is supposed to be stormy, and then but we went to tea and pickers home, which is on a major highway, and had a fun. First and foremost, I took all of my booth stuff. For those of you who are new to my channel, I used to have a booth. The first booth place closed down. We moved it to a second place, and they just didn't have the traffic footage. The traffic, and we weren't making any sales hardly there. So all of that stuff has been actually sitting on my shelves out in my storage building. And so we just took it all. We came home with nothing. So that was a good thing. But it was just so much fun being, we have a reseller / YouTuber get together every month. And we move it around because, some people are in one town that's like an hour from us. And then we've even gone to Knoxville because somebody wanted to meet up with us there. So we just kind of move it around. But it's growing. It's growing. We even had a pair who used to do a whole lot of estate sales. They have their own company. So, I mean, it's so wonderful getting these connections. And that's what this is all about. It's not an us against them. And for us, we send each other texts when we find an estate sale that nobody else knew of. We try to support each other as much as we can, and I'm loving our little group, and I'm hoping it'll grow. That was another good thing about the yard sale was, we got to encourage people who are just starting reselling, because, they'd have their phone out taking pictures, just stuff like that. So we were able to make those connections. I think we met at least one other person who's going to be joining our group. They're resellers and they're just starting to get into YouTube. So it was a lot of fun, but we had so much fun. But y'all, look, the Thursday, it was overcast, and it started out cool, like 50s, but by the afternoon it was up in the 70s. And I didn't think about it. Didn't. So and I wore my glasses, so I've got the whole raccoon eyes going. But yeah, I'm covering myself up with lotion, trying, hopefully, not to blister too badly. But yeah, very, very bad decision as far as the weather. Very. But it'll be all right, right? Start the tan early. I mean, it was 80s on Friday. For those of you who are like Thursday yard sale, around here, a lot of yard sales start on Thursdays. Thursday is some, Friday is more, and then Saturday, of course, is a lot. And then we do have Sunday yard sales, so it's picking up. It's that time. As long as the weather cooperates, it's time for yard sale season to start. And that was why I needed to get this booth stuff gone so that I have the shelving space to start putting more stuff. So, all right, let's get to this. I had sales across my 4 platforms. I start everything on eBay, and then I do use List Perfectly to cross list to Mercari, Poshmark, and Etsy. I don't have as many listings on there. I currently have a little over 10,000 listings on eBay. So, I don't get as many sales. I wish I got more sales. I'm trying. But like eBay, I'm trying to pack as many as I can into these other platforms for fourth quarter. I sell toys, so fourth quarter is like prime shopping for me So that's the plan, is to try to get as many over into the other platforms. Mercari, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about Mercari. I think buyers are figuring out that their shipping is way more than the other platforms, and I'm just not making very many sales there. I'm not going to take things down, but I'm not adding to it as much as Poshmark. I'm really focused on Poshmark right now, and then my vintage stuff to Etsy. But first item was this Disney Sheriff Callie with the Deputy Peck lot. I have found that there's certain characters that they do better as lots. You know, I probably could have listed these for, you know, $6 or $7 or $8, but I went ahead and did a lot. And it sold very quickly for $15. Ooh, my coffee. All right, and then these Build-A-Bear plush. One of them had the pink threads, one of them had the blue threads, so I just went ahead and put them together. They've been listed a while, and they did finally sell on Mercari for $23. Now, Poshmark sales, I sold these boys Levi's 505 jeans, $13. Calvin Klein women's jeans sold for $17. Now, a lot of these we pick up either fill a bag at some of the thrift stores, but usually no more than $1 or $2 at yard sales around here. So I'm happy with the $17 sale. And then this Spark Create Imagine Monkey Teether plush, it sold for $12. I've been putting a lot of baby stuff on Poshmark. They seem to be doing really well. I think, you know, people are shopping there for other things, and then they, you know, might see this and just go ahead and add it to, you know, their things that they want to go ahead and purchase. But Spark Create Imagine is one of my newer favorite things to look for, but most of them are still bread and butter. For me, bread and butter is $8 to $12. And I don't do free shipping, so that does not include the shipping. All right, and then two sales on Etsy. This first one is an Eden Teletubbies. This character is Poe. It sold for $14.95. I was mostly doing my high dollar vintage plush on there, but I have started just putting, you know, just anything vintage on there. But I don't have a whole lot of listings there. I need to work on that. But, you know, that 20 cents off the get-go, you know, just kind of makes you less inclined to want to list a whole lot at one time. And then I sold this Hershey's Bear plush. They're called Chocolate Chums from 1987. I've picked up several of these. Quite a few of them. I got the whole series from the high bid estate sale that I won almost 2 years ago. But I do find these on a regular basis, I think. So this one sold for $24.95. This first one came out of a Christmas box lot that I picked up at an estate sale probably within the last couple of months. Just a whole bunch of ornaments, but this was down in there. It still had its original tag. It is by Fun World. Just a cute little red dog, 4 inches tall, sold for $10. And then this is Disney Doc McStuffins. This is another one of them that I try to do in small lots as I find more characters. I'm the type of seller, I list everything that I possibly can when I find it, even if it's for really low dollar, hoping that I'll find something to go ahead and add to it. I do check my own listings when I am processing stuff to list, and if I have something that it would go with, then I'll end it, take new pictures, and then go, you know, restore it. But this is another one of those ones that it does better in lots. And this is Disney Doc McStuffins. It was Lammy the Lamb and Stuffy the Dragon, $10.50. Now, currently I'm going through tons and tons of Goodwill bins stuff that we picked up in December when we went to St. Louis. We try to do these trips a couple times a year. We take our trailer, go to a Goodwill bins. Most recently, it's been St. Louis because Robert's from that area, and we can stay and visit with family also. But we fill our trailer in 3 or 4 days, and then we come back and I process it over several months, and then we plan our next trip. We used to go to Indianapolis. I would love, love, love to go down to Florida, maybe by the fall when it's not so hot down there, and you know, maybe do some sourcing down there. That's the end goal for me. When we get ready to retire, I just want to travel and source and see stuff. You know, I grew up not in the continental US, so I'm looking forward to going and seeing the sites, you know, the Statue of Liberty and just all these other sites all over the United States. That's the goal. All right, this next item is a Daikin wolf plush in sheep's clothing from 1983, sold for $17. This wasn't listed very long. It's just a cute monkey plush, but I think you squeezed it and it made like a kissing sound. Sold for $8.96. The bread and butter stuff has been saving at me when times have been slow like this, you know. I sell a whole lot in that range. I think Robert checked last year's sales. You know, it was a lot of my sales were the $8 to $12. In fact, I think we've had a video where everything that I sold last year that was like $9.99 or less plus shipping paid more than our mortgage for the entire year. So the whole year's mortgage. Now, these I picked up at an estate sale. I actually grabbed 12 packs of them. I don't think I paid very much for them. They were Papermate, Prismacolor, Magic Rub erasers. This is 9 of them total. This first set sold for $13.45. Kenner, this is the vintage Care Bear Cousins. This is Cozy Heart Penguin from 1984. It sold for $13.25. I'm just going to reiterate this again. If you're selling the vintage Care Bears, I really encourage you to ship them in boxes. They have a stiff stuffing inside of them, and I have found that if you tried to mail them in a poly bag, it could misshape them. And you know, presentation is what it's all about when a person receives something. You know, your buyer receives something and they have to do something to make it so that it's not all warped. You know, it just, somebody might not be happy about that. So depending on the stuffing of a lot of vintage plush, I end up putting quite a bit in boxes. I like the eBay ones that are 12 by 6 by 6. They're the perfect size for just, you know, typical plush. These, I want to say we picked these up at the bins also. I have found, you know, check your comps, but I do really well with a lot of these vintage type curlers, hot rollers, curlers, you know, whatever they're called. Obviously, I don't do curling, but this was Caruso Professional Pro Set 30 curlers. These sold probably within a few days of listing, $26.95. Walking Dead minifigures. These were from the St. Louis bins. I love to dig to the bottom of the bins and grab up all of the smalls. That's what I call them. The smalls. The little people, the other character toys, dollhouse stuff, any of that. That's what I love picking up beyond the vintage plush. These were just 4 different ones. I have more. I know that I have more in bags that I haven't found, but I just went ahead and picked the 4 that were different. Made a small lot. They sold very quickly for my full asking price of $9.95. As I find the others, I'll make more lots. This was from North American Bear Company. I love that company. This was called Silly Old Bear. Sold for $12. Best offer. Just very cute. I'm thinking it went probably to a book or something. Kohl's Cares. I just put out a video. I do brand videos where I pick certain brands or categories that I like listing, and then I just do a deep research into them. I did one on Kohl's Cares. These Willem Plush do really well in lots. I just had this one, so I was going to list it, and as I get others, then I would end the listing, change it, up the price until it sold. But it still sold before I had another one to go with it, $11. American Eagle men's shirt. We don't have a whole lot of clothes listed right now, but it is something that we have added to our stores so that when, you know, sales are low on one category, you know, hopefully I'm making sales on clothing. But clothing is tedious. Robert takes the pictures of all of them, and then I just list them as he gets things done. But it's a way different thing to be listing clothes versus smalls and plush. Totally different. But we are seeing really good sales with them. Compared, you know, considering we live in a very rural area, we don't find high end. But, you know, this shirt by American Eagle sold for $15. Spark, Create, Imagine. Love that brand. But most of it is bread and butter. This giraffe sold for $8.96. This Nike men's shirt, I think we picked this up at the bins. It just was one of those ones, it was tossed and caught my attention because I don't go through the bins for clothing, but I remember this caught my attention, so we picked it up. And it sold for $37, best offer. It's Gia Kuso t-shirt. Daikin Reindeer plush. This one was supposed to make sounds. It had one of those internal sound boxes. It didn't work. I just make sure I make a note of that. Sold for $12.95. Tupperware. I like picking up Tupperware. I don't get a whole lot. I try to find ones that aren't scratched, and Tupperware just seems to, depending on what was used to, you know, stir stuff or cut or whatever, has lots of scratches. But when I find it, I end up picking it up. This was some orange pudding parfait bowls, $9.86. This is a Tonka soft plush. It did work. It had a light stick inside of it. From 1995. I don't find these very often. I just don't think they unless they've been set aside and not played with the light, they don't normally work or in very good condition, I think. But this one sold for $8.96. This is Disney Daisy Duck. I think this came from the Goodwill bins. She was a 14-inch plush, sold immediately after listing. There were others that were listed, but a lot of them had a different kind of shirt. I only saw a few that had the pink shirt like this one. An instant sell. Love when that happens. Now this is a viewer sale, so thank you very much, Sherry. Sherry actually bought two of these. They were Mika Raccoon Plush. I think the other one was a little bit different color. This one sold for $11.66, and then the other one I think was $8 something. So thanks again, Sherry. She's been a wonderful supporter of my store and of the channel. You know, she always makes sure that she leaves comments. You know, that's the one thing you can do for your content creators that costs nothing, is to make sure you go in, subscribe, like, and make frequent comments. This came from an estate sale that we bought some box lots of HO scale train accessories. There were no trains. I think somebody beat us to the trains. I don't know if I would have wanted to pick them up anyway, because I don't like the testing part of some of these vintage toys. But I'm almost out of all of that stuff that I listed. This sold for $17.95. It was just a dual crossing gates. This is a Toys R Us plush dog from 2016. Sold for $15, best offer. This is an Eden plush. I tend to buy almost anything Eden that I pick up. Some of it is high dollar. A lot of it is bread and butter. There is a whole series of Beatrix Potter. I don't find them very often. And like even with this one, it had lots of wear. The bonnet needed cleaned. Usually I just go ahead and say I'm leaving all cleaning and restoration to the buyer. Still sold for $8.51. This is the second time I have found this green dog figure from Blue's Clues. I just put it with another just easier to find thing and listed it $24.95 and took a best offer of $20 for the two of them. Kinder Lamb plush. This was in a recent haul, I'm pretty sure. So it sold probably within 2 weeks. It sold for $13.45. Just cute plush by Kinder. This sold right after I listed it. It's a petting zoo woolly llama alpaca plush. Petting zoo is usually bread and butter for me, but this just seemed unique. So I did list it a little bit higher, and it sold for $24.95. These I found in a box lot of like craft and doll type stuff I picked up at an estate sale. It sold once, got shipped and returned, relisted and sold again. It's by these two books, Xavier Roberts and Miss Martha doll patterns. $17.05. FisherPrice Little People. Most of these had a lot of playwear and paintwear, so I just decided to put them all together. They were all from 2012. Sold very quickly for $11.66. Aeropostale women's jeans sold for $14 best offer. This is Kelly Toy dog Pegasus unicorn plush. I find a lot of these Kelly toys that, you know, also are unicorn with another animal tend to do okay. This one was from 2018, sold for $15. These I picked up at, I want to say the bins. I had two different ones. They were these plastic hologram type cups. They're sealed, still had the plastic all the way around them. This one was from the Boston Red Sox, sold for $26.95. Douglas Black Cat Plush. I just listed this recently. It did have a lot of condition issues, but somebody purchased it probably within a week for $10 best offer. Douglas is a very popular brand. Some of it's bread and butter, but there are some higher dollar ones. I have a brand video also on Douglas, so I'll have Robert put a link to that video. You know, definitely those are good to watch, especially when you want to look for the higher dollar sale items in that brand. Now, this is Stuffins. This is from the Peter Rabbit series. Stuffins is more well known for the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but I picked this up at the turkey sale. I'll have Robert link that video because, y'all, that was a hilarious yard sale that we went to last year. So, yeah, it sold for $8.96, but that was an amazing yard sale. I picked up, that's the Lisa Frank one that I also picked up, two of the big plush from Lisa Frank. But it was fun. This is Boonton Ware Melamine Dishes. Robert picked up, I think, a box, and it was different brands, but they were all like this turquoise color. I ended up dividing them up by brand and then made some lots. This is coffee cups with saucers, a set of 4, sold for $26.95. I still have one more left. This is Babies R Us, cute rabbit plush from 2016. It also sold for $26.95. This is Wild Republic. I've been listing a lot of it. It is bread and butter. I think it's a good quality plush. Lots of wild animals. This one sold for $13.45. And then my big sale for the 4-day period is this. I found this, I want to say at a yard sale maybe. I can't even remember. It's been listed a while because I could find nothing like it. Didn't even really know if it was vintage, but I'm thinking it was vintage. It's a Zashi Kibuta pink pig from the Hello Kitty series. I went big with my price, $299.95. Had it on all of the platforms, and it did sell for $269.95, and it was going to a freight forwarding company, I think up in Delaware or something. So, you know, once it reaches its destination, I'm good. I'm good. So, obviously a collector knew the value of this item because there was none like mine. Well, and speaking of Sanrio, my last brand video that was released last week was Sanrio, and I picked it because I had made this sell, so good thing. Man, I'm red. Look at that. My nose took the brunt of it, y'all. I'm hoping I didn't do any, you know, blistering type stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. Dumb. All right, let's get to work, y'all. Bye.